Welcome to the Indigenous People of Biafra, the landmark nationwide address and policy directives by the head of Directorate of States, HDOS, of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB, on January 1st, 2025, summarized and published by the DIRECTIVES Secretariat. The Directorate of States of the Indigenous People of Biafra, DIRECTIVES, has deemed it imperative to make this transcript available to all Biafrans, friends of Biafrans, and to whom it may concern, especially to those who could not find the time to listen to the nationwide address by the head of Directorate of State of the Indigenous People of Biafra, MAZI CHIKA EDOZIEM, on the 1st of January 2025. The reiteration of the mission statement and the policy of IPOB was necessary for the following cogent reasons. Firstly, it was to serve as a clear guideline to our ardent family members all over the world as to what their duties and responsibilities are in 2025. Key performance indicators, KPIs, have been set to monitor progress against the set objectives at the end of this fiscal year. Secondly, it was to remind our oppressors and their agent, provocateurs, in an unequivocal term that we mean business and no amount of blackmail, abductions, incarcerations, judicial somersaults, and extrajudicial killings can deter the collective will of Biafrans to achieve our goal, which is the restoration of the sovereign state of Biafra as an independent nation in West Africa via a UN and AU supervised referendum. Obviously, this is the only available option to preserve the Biafran people from the ongoing subtle war of extinction and perpetual subjugation meted against us by the deep state. Anyone who still believes that the Biafra versus Nigeria war of genocide really ended in January of 1970 is either hallucinating or deluded. In fact, an independent investigation carried out by our intelligence unit has revealed that the ongoing clandestine war of extinction against Biafrans is more dangerous than the Kinktik War of 1970 that claimed the lives of over 5 million Biafrans. Hence, we have been called to brace up by the HDOS in his radio broadcast on the 1st of January 2025. Therefore, the following 25 points are crucial as we transcend into the final phases of the Biafra Restoration Project in 2025, edited by the DIRECTIVES Secretariat. Number 1, MAZI CHIKA EDOZIEM recounted the journey of the IPOB movement, starting from its inception by her currently incarcerated leader, MAZI Nnamdi Kanu, and the challenges, sabotage, betrayals it has underwent over the years, and still standing tall. Number 2, MAZI EDOZIEM reaffirmed that the IPOB movement under his administrative control, as established by her leader, is not responsible for the criminality and crimes that has been orchestrated in Biafra land since the past 3 years. Number 3, the IPOB head of directorate also affirmed that the IPOB movement agitation for the restoration of the Biafra sovereignty is not only guaranteed by divine laws and providence, but also the United Nations Charters for Indigenous Peoples' inalienable right to self-determination, even the Nigerian Constitution. Hence, it will continue on its path to freedom for the Biafran people and Biafra land. Number 4, MAZI EDOZIEM stressed that the IPOB movement is a peaceful movement and will stay peaceful until its objectives are achieved, stating that its choice of agitation tactics is a strategic decision to ensure that its legitimate quest is not dented or criminalized by Nigerian state-orchestrated violence and politically motivated criminality in Biafra land. Number 5, the IPOB head of directorates maintains that the struggle for Biafra self-determination is a concerted effort to bring justice to the people of Biafra who have suffered gravely and for decades in the hands of the Nigerian state and still doing so, as well as to preserve the cultural heritage and values of the Biafra people and save them from impending mortal danger. Number 6, the IPOB head of directorate stated that the movement is exploring every legitimate, non-violent means within the framework and the providence of the international system in its pursuit for Biafra freedom. Number 7, MAZI EDOZIEM pondered how the IPOB movement striving to perfect its dream and that of the Biafra heroes past to establish a society where the rule of law prevails and the sanctity of human lives are honored and respected would be accused of being the crux of insecurity in the Southeast. Number 8, In a warning or admonition message to the political juggernauts in the Southeast, the IPOB head of directorate insisted that the many political militias created by this political class in the Southeast, who are mostly responsible for the crimes and politically motivated crises and vendetta, must be dismantled by those who set them up or face the inevitable intervention by the IPOB movement. Number 9. The IPOB head of directorates urged the Ohanese Ndigbo sociocultural group to take its last chance and dismantle the deep state within its policy-making body, IPOB, or face the possibility of a dwindling of its relevance in the affairs of the people in the Southeast. Number 10. The IPOB head of directorate warned against the collusion between the judiciary in Biafra land and the executive governments using extrajudicial measures to wrongly persecute innocent citizens accused of belonging to the IPOB movement. He warned that such judicial atrocity by any state government will no longer be tolerated by the IPOB movement. Number 11. The IPOB head of directorate warned the Nigerian president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, whom he accused of working with the French and the British to overrun the Biafra region with Fulani terrorists, jihadists under the guise of cattle ranching. He vowed that the IPOB movement will resist vehemently any attempts to seize ancestral lands in the Biafra space and establish cattle ranches for the Fulanis, urging the Tinubu's administration to take the silence of the IPOB movement towards his perhaps unmerited regime as a sign of lack of interest and not cross the red line. Number 12. The IPOB head of directorate asserted that the IPOB movement will, in the year, consolidate its progress in the policies it has initiated, stating that the agricultural revolution and agenda for food security in the Biafra region, which it has initiated, will receive a much bigger amount of attention and support mechanism, urging the Biafra young generation to take part in the scheme in this forthcoming farming season to ensure food security. Number 13. The IPOB head of directorate for the umpteenth urged the entrepreneurs from the Biafra stock to move their bulk of financial assets and capital from the volatile Nigerian naira to a more stable, hard currencies, recommending the USD, the euro, Swiss franc, etc., postulating that the temporary exchange stability of the Nigerian naira is a result of the FX influx of celebrants and observers of the Yuletide season, which would soon be over. Number 14. MAZI EDOZIEM urged the Biafran entrepreneurs to secure their capitals and enhance their enterprises as they would serve as the primary and fundamental takeoff engine of the incoming Biafra economy. Number 15. The IPOB head of directorate acknowledged that the IPOB movement is aware of the mortgage of mineral resources obtained in the Biafra region by the successive Nigerian administrations and are making plans to ensure that these God-given assets are retaken and renegotiated in the fullness of time. Number 16. The IPOB head of directorate ordered the strengthening of IPOB's internal organs, internal mechanisms, depths, and institutions ahead of the tedious tasks ahead, stating that the Eastern Security Network under its command will assume more strategic duties to ensure not only the agricultural revolution program is sustained, but also the enabling secure environment for the economic development and viability of the Biafra region is adequately guaranteed. Number 17. The IPOB head of directorate insists that the development or the Biafra region requires no foreign aid or assistance, urging the citizens of the Biafra region to bring home their assets and capital and take part in the development scheme to global standards. Number 18. The 1POB head of directorate issued a stern warning to the remnants of the criminals as well as practitioners of cultism in the Biafra region to desist and have a rethink, urging their parents to advise them adequately to depart from their evil ways before it is too late. Number 19. The IPOB head of directorate buttressed that the Eastern Security Network ranks are closed and cannot absorb any of these gun-wielding, undisciplined folks, either as criminals, cultists, or political militias, urging them to turn a new leaf, answer for their crimes, and become better souls for society. Number 20. The IPOB head of directorate stated for the avoidance of doubts that the ESN receives no funding from the Biafra political elite, and does not intend doing so. Urging the people to support the operatives of Eastern Security Network morally as they discharge their ordained duties in securing the lives and properties of the people against Fulani terrorists. Number 21. The IPOB head of directorate lauded the consistency, discipline, and efficiency of the operatives of the Eastern Security Network, stating that the ESN succeeds and survives up till this moment irrespective of the conspiracy and machinations against it, because of the grace of the Almighty Chukwu Okike, the land of Biafra, and the IPOB global family which funds its efforts consistently. Number 22. The IPOB head of directorate warned against religious fanatism leading to the deforestation and destruction of ancient, holy sites of the indigenous traditions and customs, urging perpetrators to desist and have a rethink as the colonialists who spurred them into such atrocious acts are yet to burn or return the artifacts stolen from the Biafra, Freaka soil, but are instead preserving them in their multi-million-dollar museums. Number 23. In the same vein, he warned local collaborators, especially in various capacities in the local and state governments in the Biafra region, aiding and abetting foreigners, Chinese, etc., for tree logging in the Biafra forest. Reserves to desist or face consequences. Number 24. The IPOB head of directorate also directed the ancient custodians of Biafra culture and traditions to buckle up as their patriotic services for the formation of the Biafra political system, which its constitution and governance principles will be predicated upon, will soon commence. Number 25. Finally, the IPOB head of directorate warned against misuse of public office and arrogance in the IPOB movement, while assuring that the years-long efforts and consistent journey of the Biafra self-determination is already on its closest point of attaining victory. However, warned that there are still challenges that must be crossed, urging for steadfastness and vigilance amongst the 1POB global family and Biafra adherents. Signed, Press Secretary to the Directorate of State, DOS.